The reality of Allen Iverson's size points to the enormity of his accomplishments. It is how his team plays the game, reveling in the odds, mocking adversity. And so that is how the MVP and his Sixers continue the unyielding chase, acknowledging that misfortune, that struggle, are merely preconditions for success. Tonight, another point in time that will demand the skill, the heart of a winner.
Jerome Williams, the double. Allen, the long way home, and he got it! Against Williams again. Yes! He is the man! MVPs make big shots. None bigger in Allen Iverson's career than that 29-foot three-pointer in Game 4. Thus, the series tied at 2, and so the fans are juiced. Allen adding to the hysteria yesterday, getting the MVP. He and Pat Croce, the respective toasts of the town. Julius Erving here as part of the MVP celebration, getting together with former ABA'er Larry Brown before the game in the Sixers locker room. So the stage is set.
First of all, I would like to thank, first of all, God above, because without God, none of this would be possible. I want to thank my family and my friends, my coaching staff, and my teammates, because without my teammates, I definitely wouldn't be up here getting this award right now. And I want to thank the fans in Philadelphia who have embraced me from day one. Every time I come in this gym, in this arena, I hear my favorite song. Y'all voices. So it's time for y'all to play that song. Let's make this noise and get this party jumping.
The same quotes he gave to start the season.
Alvin Williams along with Chris Childs in the backcourt. Vince Carter, who did not play nearly as well as he did in that terrific Game 3 in Game 4. Antonio Davis with an injured triceps muscle in his left arm, and Charles Oakley at the other forward. Coach Lenny Wilkins did not play a starter. Less than 40 minutes in that Game 4. A win by the Sixers to lock the series at 2 games apiece. Aaron McKie, his second straight start, along with Allen Iverson. Kembe Mutombo, his best performance of the series thus far in Game 4. Jermaine Jones, the first time he's ever started any game in his NBA career. And Tyrone Hill, the other bookend for Dikembe. So now with Allen Iverson getting the MVP, perhaps the Coach of the Year award now awaits one Larry Brown. If he's the Coach of the Year, the 76ers will become the first team in NBA history to garner 4 major postseason honors. We continue postseason action tonight here at the First Union Center. Neil Hartman once again patrolling the sidelines.
Well, Mark, if the fans loved what Allen Iverson did during the regular season, how about the postseason? His numbers in every category are up from what he was able to do during his MVP season. It all goes to the minutes at 46.1. The points are a couple more than what he scored during the regular season. Even more rebounds, more assists, and even more steals. And, of course, the Game 2 heroics with the 54 points. Clutch shots by Allen Iverson. What will he do for an encore tonight? We'll wait and find out here in Game 5.
All right, Neil Hartman, thank you very much. Allen Iverson graciously accepting that MVP trophy before the game tonight. Bennett Salvatore, Ted Bernhardt, Bob Delaney blowing the whistles. Many think that the winner of this game will go on to win the series. The Sixers, by winning on Sunday, have wrestled back the home court advantage, though by no means are they eager to see a 7-game series. A win tonight and a win at Toronto on Friday. And the Sixers will go to the Eastern Conference Finals. Kembe Mutombo now predicting the Sixers will win the series in 6 games. That statement made after his terrific performance in Game 4 at Toronto on Sunday. 76ers, as mentioned in the open, have not led the series yet. They trailed 1 game to none and 2 games to 1. And how do you feel if you're Jermaine Jones, your first ever career start in the NBA? Larry Brown saying, Guys, we're going to go with a rookie. That at shoot-around this morning, of course, Jermaine, in his second year, has played a lot more since the trade, and of course had a terrific performance at Indiana in April at the end of the regular season. George Lynch viewing this one, and he told his mates, hey, I'll be back in 4 weeks. If he is back and his team is alive, he'll be in the NBA Finals at that point after the 4-week period. Mutombo stepping in against Antonio Davis, and we are running tonight in this pivotal Game 5 of this Eastern Conference Semifinal series. Aaron McKee in for Eric Snow. Backdoor for Jones. Oakley covering up for the Raptors. This is Iverson.
Wow!
What a way to start the game.
Tough shot. Alvin Williams doing a nice job of defending him, but Allen Iverson, a little hang time there, was able to float to his left and get the bucket.
Allen, 30 points in Game 4, did not shoot well, but shot well when he had to. That three-pointer with about 2 minutes to go to clinch the win. McKee and Jones after it. Oakley to the floor, and the Raptors will keep it with 4 to shoot.
Well, you have to limit Carter's touches if at all possible. Jermaine Jones cannot do it one-on-one. It's a team effort. Get back defensively, and you have to defend the pick and the pop.
Oakley gave it up. Perhaps he shouldn't have. Williams' prayer goes unanswered. And Lenny Wilkins' team called for the 24-second shot clock violation on their first possession.
Well, those are passes that coaches hate to see. The no-look pass by Oakley, not a bad passer. Toronto as a team, a very good passing team in this playoff series. 1.7 assists to every turnover. Williams and Child doing a very good job of controlling the basketball, but just a bad pass.
All cutting for Jermaine Jones as he hits the three-pointer.
Well, confidence galore now.
McKee tying up Childs, and they'll jump it up amidst the din here at the First Union Center.
Jermaine Jones, we talked about him at the top of the show. Slow getting out defensively are the Toronto Raptors. Jermaine Jones can shoot the basketball. He showed you at the top of the show.
McKee easily, he's got about 4 inches on Childs. Carter guarding McKee, even though Aaron is the point. Alvin Williams continues his war with Iverson for 3. To the floor, Mutombo, finally Hill. Sixers here with a fresh 24.
Well, the Sixers just out hustling Toronto from the opening tap in the first minute and a half of this game.
Jones has Childs, and he wants him. Got it again!
What pressure? What pressure? Hey, I'm just coming down here playing hoops.
And you know, Steve, that's the obvious mismatch with Carter guarding the point guard, McKee. Jones has Childs all to himself, and the Sixers are looking that way. Look at the defensive pressure on the perimeter by the Sixers. Childs missing the 3, and it's Jones coming up with a rebound. 2 minutes gone, the Sixers up 7-0. Iverson fouled en route to the hoop. The personal Alvin Williams.
Well, Jermaine's hit the 3, now with the mismatch down low, little bump, the turnaround to the baseline. See, Jermaine actually has the advantage because Toronto really doesn't know that much about him. They haven't seen him that much. They don't know what his favorite moves are. But I'll tell you one thing, they better defend him.
And he's got a 5-inch height advantage on Childs as Iverson got whacked in the face. And a foul on Vince Carter.
Allen driving. The reach in by Carter. It's like getting Allen right across that right eyeball.
Allen, of course, playing with a myriad of injuries. Not really talked about. Right hip, right elbow, right shoulder. Again, Jones with 5 inches on Childs. Mutombo buys for it with Davis, and a loose ball foul as the Sixer hustle continues to draw contact and more fouls. This one on Antonio Davis.
Well, talking to Larry Brown after shoot-around today, the one thing he said was, I look up every once in a while and try to figure out how we're winning ball games. But when you take a look at this first couple minutes, as you saw that replay, 76ers just have a tendency to out-hustle and outwork everybody.
Iverson all the way to the cup for two, a second field goal for four. He and Jones with all 9 of the points. More than 2.5 gone, and the Raptors shut out thus far. Now Jones dealing with Carter, gives it up to Davis. There you see Mutombo crouched in the weeds. It goes out of bounds on the deflection, and the Raptors left with 11 to shoot.
Well, Davis looking for the personal foul. He felt he got slapped as Allen Iverson just drives into the paint. You may have heard that slap on Davis's left arm, the one that's injured, that tricep.
Davis playing with that injury for the last couple of games. Thinks he heard it in game 2. 3 to shoot. Mutombo way out on Childs. Hill got Oakley to stay on the floor. He never pulled the trigger. And for the second time in the opening 3 minutes, we have a 24-second violation on Toronto.
Tell you what, Lenny Wilkens needs a timeout. I don't think he can go to the TV timeout. He's got to get one, calm his troops down. Right now, they're getting blown out.
3 turnovers and 4 trips for the Raptors. Iverson, yes! And that timeout is coming right now with the Sixers up 11-0.
Allen catching the ball off that hawk cut, ISO'd on the left side. One more look at it. Alvin Williams doing a nice job, but Allen Iverson is a reaction player. He's just going to take advantage of the situation. Whichever way the defense is coming out, he's going to juke him. He's going to go the other way. He just reacts to what the defense gives him, and he just knocked down that jump shot right in the grill of Williams.
Vince Carter yet to take a shot. His mates have missed 2 and 3 other turnovers in their first 5 trips down the floor. Mutombo again way out on the perimeter. Carter flies with Jones. Mutombo the deflection. Iverson's got Williams. Here's Allen. Crashing Jones. And finally hauled in by Williams. A tremendous start by Jermaine Jones in his first ever start in his NBA career as the Raptors still shut out. They're 0 for 3. Nearly 4 minutes gone. Tyrone Hill goes charging in. And we have what looks to be an offensive foul against Hill. Personal Tyrone Hill on the charge.
Well, the crowd was getting ready to explode, thinking that we had a 3-point play coming. Oakley stepping out, taking the hit. Looked like he was still moving from that angle.
This is Davis and Antonio Davis, 4:05 into the first quarter, gets the Raptors' first field goal. Davis averaging a double-double for the playoffs and a double-double in every game of the series thus far. McKee had a rolling Hill. Iverson tracking Carter.
Allen just let him go. Very smart move on his part, saying, you know what, Vince, go ahead. We're still up 7 points. Get your deuce. We'll go back down on the offensive end.
And 4 straight now for the Raptors after the 11-point explosion. Jones from Iverson. He deposits 2 more. Jermaine Jones has it going on. He's got 7 here in the opening 5 minutes.
Well, he's lighting Chris Childs up. You might want to make the switch if you're Lenny Wilkens. Keep Vince there, and then all of a sudden move Childs over to Allen Iverson and Alvin Williams on Jermaine Jones.
Carter missing the 3, but we have a foul on the Raptors.
See, this wasn't even that great a pass, but Jones, the athlete that he is, still was able to get it over the outstretched fingertips of Jones. The ball was short. Alvin Williams would have had that one if Lenny Wilkens would make the switch.
So Jones off to a terrific start. In the meantime, Antonio Davis picks up personal foul number 2. So the starting center for the Raptors, who's played oh so well against the Sixers in this series, has to take a seat with 2 personals, and little used Eric Montross is in for him. We'll see how the Sixers react now vis-a-vis Dikembe Mutombo. This is McKee.
Well, the one thing the Sixers wanted to do is play solid defense. Coach talked about that and shoot around today. And then come out and play like you normally do on the offensive end. Boy, the Sixers are red hot early.
They have hit 7 of their first 11. Carter posting Iverson. Mutombo the help. And perhaps the altered shot there by Vince. Thanks to Deke. Iverson from McKee. Yes! The Sixers, they are a-rolling. 6 straight and a 13-point lead as Mutombo continues to cruise Toronto's perimeter. Oakley.
First clean look that Toronto has had at the bucket off that little pick and pop. One of the favorite plays. They normally run it with Davis, but because he picked up personal foul number 2, that time they ran it with Oakley.
McKee runs all the way in, and he's rejected by Montross. Childs looking to go give and go, and Iverson finds McKee!
Childs right now is killing the Toronto Raptors defensively and offensively. Lenny's got to get him out of the ballgame. Sixers just playing outstanding basketball.
They have their largest lead at 13. 5 minutes and 22 seconds to go in the first. Iverson with 8 of those points on 4 for 6 from the floor. His Sixers shooting a lofty 64%. MVP indeed. Back with more of the playoffs right after this. The word this morning from Coach Larry Brown to Jermaine Jones was to be Jermaine, don't be George Lynch. Just go out, rebound, and play defense. Well, Jones, an added benefit with the 7 points early, including the 3-pointer, as he and Iverson accounted for the first 11 points of the game. The Sixers leading 11-0 right off the opening tip. And right now their largest lead at 13. Here are the Raptors after that badly needed timeout. Number 24, the rookie Morris Peterson is in for the first time. Little used in this series and throughout the playoffs as Jones locks onto Carter. This is Peterson, that's for 2, and down it goes. Morris Peterson, the rookie out of Michigan State.
See, Lenny had to get Childs out of the ball. He wasn't giving him anything on the offensive end. Certainly wasn't giving him anything on the defensive end. Now with Peterson in the ball game, gives him a taller defensive player that can score as well.
Mutombo takes on Montross. And of course, he is blessed with Alvin Williams, who has point guard skills, and he can handle along with Carter, who goes swooping in, but we have a foul en route. The person on the Sixers, Aaron McKee, his first, and just the first on the team.
Aaron coming up, wincing ever so slightly. That right shoulder got bumped as Carter was making the drive.
Aaron, paraphrase, the Carly Simon song, has no time for the pain. Jones rips it off. Beautifully done by Jermaine Jones as the Raptors turn it over for the 5th time here in the first quarter. Iverson floats in 2 more. AI has 10 on 5 for 7 from the floor.
That's why he's the MVP, folks. Just putting this team on his shoulder and said, okay, let's go for a ride tonight.
But a tag team partner in this first quarter in the form of Jermaine Jones. Peterson gives up the dribble. Oakley wants him to have another go at it. Gets to the floor, 2 to shoot. He's tied up, and the timeout called by Toronto with their offense in a mess thanks to the scrambling, suffocating Sixer defense. We have a timeout as the Sixers once again match their largest lead at 13. Allen Iverson joining elite company at the ripe old age of 25 in just his 5th year in the league. And he was wonderful, if not eloquent, comporting himself very well during his news conference yesterday in which he first accepted the trophy. And he got the joint jumping with his speech to the crowd here when he got the trophy again from the commissioner of the NBA, David Stern. The Raptors had only 2 to shoot, and Carter's drive to the hoop took too long, and the third 24-second shot clock violation against Lenny Wilkins' team here in the first quarter. The Sheriff, Rodney Buford in for the first time. Ditto Eric Snow. Jones and McKee getting rests with 3.5 to go here in the first. Iverson blows by Williams. Sets up Mutombo, who slams for 2.
2 more points in the paint for the 76ers. Make it 14-4. Sixers over the Raptors as far as points in the paint are concerned.
And their largest lead at 15. There's Peterson draining 2 more.
You take a look at the first 4 games, Mark. 76ers outscored Toronto 116-98 as far as points in the paint is concerned. So the advantage certainly goes to the Sixers.
An illegal defense is called against Toronto. It'll be their first.
Allen Iverson, the drive, the defense collapse, a nice reaction, getting the ball over to Mutombo. Points in the paint right now, this ball game 14-4.
Eric Snow coming off the bench for the 2nd straight game. Iverson and Williams resuming their war. Allen, short of the pack of players, drains another. He's got it going on. He's got a dozen. Boy, the Sixers have come out and hit 2/3 of their shots in the opening 9 and change of this first quarter. Now Buford has Carter. Vince with only 2 points thus far, trying to set up Montross, but that one goes awry and out of bounds. And the Raptors have coughed it up no fewer than 8 times here in the first.
Oh, Vince is mad at Montross, but you have to think when Vince is going to the hoop, you've got to get that little floater. He got inside the dotted line. That's a shot for him.
And Montross is thinking rebound.
Exactly.
Williams forcing Iverson to his left. Eric Snow. Buford. Got it! Rodney Buford, welcome to the playoffs. A guy who hadn't scored in this series until this moment. Before this, receiving only token minutes in any of his appearances here against the Raptors. Carter again setting up Montross, and he flat out blew the dunk.
That's the 2nd time Vince has gone to the hoop. You've got to be selfish going to the hoop. Those are shots for him. I don't care if he's passing off or not. Those have to be shots.
Sixers a 16-6 run. Right now their largest lead of the series at 17. Buford leaves it inside for Mutombo, who is hacked and fouled en route to the hoop. And Dikembe Mutombo will help himself to 2 thanks to the foul on Keon Clark.
Well, they had a very spirited practice yesterday. It wasn't very long, about an hour and 45 minutes. And the first half hour of that was a film session. The last half hour of practice was a very spirited, controlled scrimmage. Guys were going at it tooth and nail, doing a nice job, and that's a carryover to shoot around this morning, and then all of a sudden from shoot around to game time tonight.
And of course, the man who is the man at practice, he clearly takes charge during what is usually his favorite time of the NBA season, practice. The head coach, Larry Brown, who sends in Todd McCullough. Of course, Larry Brown does not have Matt Geiger. Matt is in street clothes tonight as McCullough comes in for Tyrone Hill.
Well, the lowest quarter for the Toronto Raptors so far was the 4th, was what, 16 points. They did a nice job of that. In game 3, they scored 18 points in 3 quarters. So 76ers defense started out in game 4 and certainly is carrying over here into game 5.
Mutombo with the first free throws for anybody in this game. Clark has McCullough, and he wants him. Mutombo looming. Good help by Deke, and he caused the traveling violation on Keon Clark. Dikembe Mutombo is very active inside.
Well, the one thing that the 76ers do, they're zoning up that back as the guys are driving. They're doing a nice job of plugging it up. Shouldn't say zone because there's no such thing as a zone in the NBA, although New York played a 2-3 in their series against Toronto quite a bit.
Iverson has it knocked into the backcourt by Alvin Williams. Allen, beautiful crossover, tough of it. There's McCullough with his eye on the ball the whole time. Todd McCullough puts the Sixers up 21. So Alvin Williams slices that by a deuce, his first field goal of the game.
So you get in the paint, that's got to be a shot. Guys are thinking offensive board. Vince Carter's passed up 2 shots. Alvin Williams finally knocked down that one.
Iverson again. Mutombo thought he was shoved by Montross, but Snow comes up with a floorboard. About a 10-second difference between the clocks as Eric Snow adds his name to the scoring column.
Boy, everybody's getting on the scoring list.
7 different Sixers here in the first quarter. A 22-8 run as they rise here at the First Union Center. Snow takes the charge, an offensive foul, Vince Carter.
Vince Carter's going to go left. Eric Snow still moving to his right. Next year he won't get it, but tonight, yes. And Bill Cosby saying, yeah, oh yeah. I love the Sixers and I love chocolate pudding.
Nodding his approval concerning the Sixer defense, which has forced 10 first quarter turnovers on a team that averages only 14 in the playoffs. And the Raptors were the best during the regular season at taking care of the ball. Now Lenny Wilkins goes even deeper to his bench, sending in Del Curry for the first time. The shot clock is unplugged. Remember, the Raptors are in the penalty. The Sixers will hold for one, leading by 21 points. McKee for 3. Seconds for Toronto. Peterson, the prayer goes unanswered, but the Sixers take the opening quarter by 21 points. Eric Snow calling Allen Iverson yesterday at his ceremony a Hall of Famer. Certainly Billy Cunningham, a Hall of Famer. There's Iverson going for the steal, then claiming Alvin Williams touched it last on Toronto's first possession of the second quarter.
Well, 33 points by the 76ers is the most that they've scored in a quarter in this series. In game 1 in the fourth quarter, they ended up scoring 32, but that was in a losing situation. Right now, they're up 21 on the Raptors.
Morris Peterson shaken up on the play as he drove in against Rodney Buford, and Buford is called for the personal foul, only the 3rd personal foul of the first half against the Sixers, and one was an offensive foul down on Tyrone Hill. And Morris Peterson, rookie out of Michigan State, 6'7", 215. Lenny Wilkins, after seeing Aaron McKee in game 4, and then Jermaine Jones here in game 5, laid up Chris Childs, forced to go to the taller Morris Peterson. About the Sixer D in that first quarter, forcing all those turnovers and really getting some points in transition.
Well, they forced 10 turnovers that led to 17 points, and obviously when you can force turnovers out on the floor, you're going to get some points. As I said, 17 points off the 10 turnovers, fast break points, but they got 4 of them.
Raptors operating without Vince Carter, out with 2 personal fouls, but Antonio Davis returns with 2 personals. Buford to the floor, 7 to shoot for Iverson, who squirms away. And now we have a reach-in foul being called. Morris Peterson, the personal foul.
I like what Antonio Davis said about his injury. He said, you know what? It's the playoffs. Even though it hurts, you've got to play.
Eric Snow subscribing to that theory in a tangle right now, and he turns it over. The Sixers scramble back defensively. There are big keys to prevent Toronto breakouts, and they have done so in this game thus far. Clark off the Davis miss. Of course, offensive rebounds, a concern of Larry Brown, particularly since the Raptors had 10 in the first half of game 4.
Yeah, and ended up with 20 overall in game 4. That's far too many.
Iverson, you can see the Raptors react as Allen just steps back and neatly, sweetly drains the 3. He's got 15 17 thus far, and the Sixers back to their largest lead of 21.
If you're Larry Brown, you just say, you know what, just keep doing what you're doing. If you're Lenny Wilkins, you say, you know what, guys, we've got to stop them at some point, and we've got to put some points on the board.
McCullough doing what he has to do as Clark rose up and went for the slam, and Todd commits the personal foul.
So Allen Iverson being guarded by Alvin Williams, the step back three. Boy, you talk about a tough shot. How hard is a step back three from 23.9? What a great game so far by the 76ers. The recently crowned MVP and Allen Iverson.
Iverson, who averages 46 minutes per game, one of the few Sixers to remain on the floor in the most recent player exchange. We should tell you that Vince Carter and Del Curry have come back for Alvin Williams and Morris Peterson. Peterson did some damage, a couple of field goals for 5. Aaron McKee, Dikembe Mutombo, and for the first time, Kevin Ollie on to the floor. And Tyrone Hill has also returned for the Sixers as well. Clark hits 2, he's got 4. The Sixers need to maintain their concentration after that glorious first quarter burst, which netted them that 21-point lead. Iverson has not lost one iota of concentration. He continues to burn the twine. He's got 17.
Tell you what, Allen Iverson, despite the fact that he's only shooting 39% overall in this series, 45% from beyond the arc. So he's stroking it well the further he gets out.
Hill got it! And boy, Tyrone Hill, struggling as he is in this series, needed that roll, his first field goal of the game, as that break started by the steal of Mutombo. And there's Iverson probing for the steal, takes the floor, burns and all. Here's Childs stepping in and missing. Now here comes McKee. This is Hill in rhythm for 2. The Sixers threatening, at least here in the first half, to blow Lenny Wilkins' team out of the building. They lead by 25 in this crucial Game 5. Carter, who's been silenced, and he simply turned it over, and again, Mutombo was way out the suburbs to defend there.
That's just total lack of concentration on Carter's part to lose the basketball with not a whole lot of pressure. There's Mutombo jumping out, but Vince just loses the basketball. One of those unforced errors, and he's got a smile on his face because he knows darn well that he just blew that one.
Back with more right after this.
Wow, what a first half for the 76ers, up by 25 inside 9 minutes to go till halftime. Allen Iverson, 8 of 12 from the floor, 17 points after getting his MVP award from the commissioner, David Stern, to start the night. Allen Iverson's career, 5 years in the NBA, first pick of the 96 draft, and that, of course, was also his rookie year, the 96-97 season. Allen also the 2-time scoring champion in the NBA, all part of the growth process for the 76ers and for Allen. And also the 2-time All-Star with a memorable performance in Washington this year where he won the All-Star Game MVP award, and then the NBA, the league MVP for the season, receiving the hardware yesterday at a press conference. The team has improved every season. Allen Iverson has improved every season, Mark, and that's why the 76ers are where they are today.
Where they are right now, Neil, is with a 25-point lead early in the second. Here they are out of the timeout. Deflected by Curry. Ollie escorts it out of bounds. The Sixers left with 5 to shoot.
Well, the Sixers have 28 shots up already. Toronto just 16. Why the discrepancy? 76ers own the offensive boards, and turnovers, 9 turnover differential between Toronto and the Sixers.
Hill with 3 to shoot, and he walks with the ball.
Nowhere to go. Got up in the air, looked to pass, nobody open.
Just the 4th Sixer turnover to Toronto's dozen. Carter, who's got only 2 points, has McKee draped on him. Iverson chasing Curry, and Ollie has Childs. Here's Carter now, sans the headband. They double team him. Davis has to lift it over Mutombo. Broken loose by Clark. Curry for three, and down it goes for Del Curry. His first three-pointer since game 2.
And he was red hot in game 2. You know, it's interesting, Mark, is the fact after game 3, 76ers stayed in the locker room for about an extra half hour. They had 4 meetings from the time game 3 ended to the time game 4 started. Boy, it looked like it's worked.
I'll say Allen Iverson hits his second 3 of the first half. He's got 20 on 9 for 13 from the floor. Again, the Sixers match their largest lead at 25 as Davis drains his second field goal. Keep in mind, Davis with that heavily taped left triceps.
Now, see, that will not bother him on the shot because you're using your bicep on the shot. Where it's going to bother him is on the push-offs, boxing out, and that kind of stuff. Trying to use the force on that left arm. That's where you use your triceps.
Childs in there now, dogging Alvin Williams, and it was Chris Childs who knocked it out of bounds, and you can see as he continues to shadow Allen Iverson even when the ball is dead. Now we have a timeout.
Well, Toronto, very dizzy at the beginning of the game, gets the bong type of jam there by Montrose, just losing the basketball. One more turnover. I'll tell you what, they've been out of sync right from the get-go as the 76ers lit them up on the offensive end. And then all of a sudden they tried on the offensive end. Their heads were just spinning right from the get-go in this ball game as the 76ers just dropping Spaldings in their eye the first 6 or 7 minutes, and they've continued to do that, shooting 69%, 20 of their first 29 shots falling through the net.
And Iverson with 20 of the Sixers' 45, but far from forcing the issue. Deftly done, as a matter of fact, 9 for 13, and lots of help from lots of mates. 7 other Sixers, besides Iverson, have contributed at least 1 field goal. Here are the Sixers out of the timeout. Aaron McKee. That's Carter for the Raptors.
Lenny's going to have to send a double team after Allen Iverson. There's no question about that as Vince hits the runner from 15. Even before Allen catches it while the ball's in flight, send the double team.
Unlike Isaiah Thomas in the Indiana series, who doubled Allen religiously, Lenny Wilkins has done so sparingly. McKee has Carter. Does he make him work? Aaron, a hard move to the cup. Had it erased. Curry, who will not look to drive. Childs tees up a 3. Carter vies for it. Snow, and finally Iverson the floorboard. Allen up top. Hill in a crowd is fouled. Not sure if that was for Hill or for McKee, but the Sixers get a positive result out of it. The personal foul is called.
'76ers pushing the basketball. The lob up to Tyrone Hill. He comes down with it. Davis with his hands straight up in the air.
Foul is on Antonio Davis, number 3.
And that's what Lenny Wilkins was telling the official. He had his hands straight up in the air, and Tyrone jumped into him. Well, it's always up to the offensive player. I always assume that you draw the contact and make the official blow the whistle.
Lenny Wilkins yet to go to Jerome Williams.
Raptors version of ML Carr, only better. ML Carr, known probably for just waving the towel for the last 2 seasons of his career. Jerome Williams just jumping up and down on the sidelines in game 4, doing some jumping jacks, trying to get the crowd excited.
McKee first step with Carter. Mutombo out there helping as well. And we have a foul. Count the field goal. The foul on the Sixers to Dikembe Mutombo. It'll be his first.
Vince out top, putting that thing on his hip. And there's Mutombo going for the ball. Foul called on Mutombo.
And Vince Carter to the line for the first time tonight. The first starter to take a free throw for the Raptors.
Now the Raptors have to try to get that thing under 15 before halftime. That way Lenny has some positive things to talk to the team about.
Sixers leading by as many as 25. Iverson for two. Clark bursting in Snow, and Eric comes away with a miss. Sixers here with the first 24 leading 47-27. Childs continues to mark Iverson with Alvin Williams on the bench. And as Mutombo has it, Davis deals with him with 3 personal fouls. And that is Clark rising above the fray for Toronto. Curry for 3, and he hit another one. So Curry, who is dry from beyond in the last 2 games, hits 2 here in the first half. Suddenly, it's a 17-point game. Iverson again. Yes! And a foul on Childs. Allen steps to the line looking for his 23rd point of the first half.
One dribble to the right. Allen still getting hit across the arm. Still follows through with it. Take a look at that. Right on the shooting elbow he gets hit, but still follows through.
Any great scorer wants to get the jumper going. Good luck.
Forget about it.
Allen, averaging 10 free throws per game in this series, goes to the line for the first time in the first half. Now deals with Childs. It was Childs' first field goal, averaging 9, though much better numbers to show for his playoff performance in the New York series. Raptors in the midst of a 12-5 run. Iverson, Curry looming as a double. Allen for 3. Yes! Oh, yes!
Man, Childs has to be tired of being lit up. Got Spalding all over that forehead tonight.
Mutombo off the miss 2 by Curry. Sixers begin to reassert themselves after the Raptors had closed to 17. Eric Snow gives it back to the hot hand who's doubled. Here's Snow. Got it!
That's a nice find by Allen Iverson, trusting his teammates, getting it to the open man Eric Snow, who told the coaches last week, hey, I'm not helping the team as I'm starting. Give me the opportunity to come off the bench, start Aaron McKee.
Snow off the Davis miss. Under 3.5 to go. It's Iverson for 3. Snow. Finally, McKee. Sixers here with a fresh 24, and Snow there to assume control. Eric Snow finds McCullough. Got it! Gorgeous play by Eric Snow.
Toronto has no idea where the shots are coming from because the 76ers passing is just superb.
The Sixers reasserting themselves. They've ripped off 7 straight. Under 3 to go first half, and the crowd is in a frenzy. The double by Snow on Carter. 4 to shoot. It'll be Curry for 3, and he got it. Del Curry has rediscovered his long-distance game. Remember, he had the 20 in what appeared to be a devastating opening game loss in this best-of-7 here at the First Union Center by the Sixers. Since then, Curry has averaged only 6 at 25% shooting, but he's hit a fistful of threes here in the first half. McKee wants Childs. It's Iverson for 3, and he got it again! Oh, my goodness!
You know, it's hard for me to fathom, and I don't care whether it's Allen Iverson or Kobe Bryant, that you're just going to allow somebody to come out and just take jump shot after jump shot without knocking the guy down and saying, you know what, you're going to have to earn 2 or 3 from the stripe because you ain't having any more good looks.
AI with 17 of his 29 here in the second.
When the avalanche starts down the hill, it's hard to stop as Eric Snow getting the pass over to Big Todd McCullough. Well, we haven't said that in a while, but Big Mac with the bucket. Everybody getting into the scoring column for the 76ers. Look at the defense collapse. Nice pass by E. Snow.
Todd McCullough, a terrific pair of hands. And Eric Snow sitting him up, and Todd getting his longest minutes of the playoff series thus far tonight. And he's been fed a couple of times. He's hit a couple of field goals. In Game 3, he became the first Canadian in NBA history to play a playoff game on his native soil when he came into the game in Toronto. And in fact, in the second round, of the 4 Canadians currently playing in the NBA, they were all alive at one point. Steve Nash with Dallas, it's Fox with the Lakers, and Jamal McClure with Charlotte. Fox and McClure, of course, are still playing. In fact, the Hornets, a mild surprise now, leading their best of 7 with the Bucks 3 games to 2 after the win at Milwaukee yesterday, as Childs and Toronto emerge out of the timeout, and Childs strokes the deuce. He's getting some boos here because of that comment he made about the fact that he thought the Raptors should have swept the Sixers in 4.
Well, if you're the Raptors, I think you feel that way, don't you? I mean, you won 2 games, and then the ones you lost were very close ball games. If Toronto could have made a few shots in the games they lost, they may have swept them.
Iverson missing the 3. Davis controls to Carter. The Sixers by 23 with a $1:10 to go. Here's Curry for 3, and he has found the range again.
Well, the Sixers still up 20, though, with a minute to go here in the half. So Sixers offense rolling in high gear. Larry Brown's going to have to talk to the troop and say, just stay with that high level of concentration and follow through. As Kevin Allen, who has improved his jump shot immensely. The Sixers coaching staff didn't change anything. It's just through repetition that he's gained the confidence.
Larry Brown has played 9 different Sixers, and they've all scored at least 1 field goal here in the first half. As Carter goes tumbling over, the ball is kicked, but it will go to the Sixers. 13 Toronto turnovers, 1 below their playoff average.
Dodge difference of tonight's ball game so far, Allen Iverson. 29 points, 12 of 19. Take a look at the three-point shooting. In this series, shooting 45% coming from downtown in the first 4 games. Obviously, that's going to improve a little bit.
McKee trying to make Carter work again. The air ball taken by Jerome Williams. The shot clock is unplugged. The Sixers here do have a foul to give, and Larry Brown realizes that, and he's out at midcourt to bark instructions as they rise here in the final seconds of a tremendous first half. And there's the foul taken by Allen Iverson, only his first. No Sixer has more than 1 personal foul here in the first half. And Iverson, for the final 5.7, will rest. Eric Snow for him. Raptors desperate for something. Curry will leave the floor as their leading scorer with a dozen, chased down by Snow, and that will do it. So Lenny Wilkins, Steve Mix saying that Lenny had perhaps hoped to get the team to within around 12 to 15 points at halftime, and in fact they took a Sixer lead, which was as large as 25, and they made it a 17-point game to the Sixers. And Allen Iverson were unrelenting and bullied for the Sixers, who took the opening quarter by 21 and did not let up as they took the second quarter by 1 to lead by 22 here at the break. The action tonight here on Comcast Sportsnet, this pivotal Game 5, along with Neil Hartman and the Mayor's Steve Mix. Mark Zumoff tonight here on what has been a howling First Union Center. Chris Childs, Alvin Williams in the backcourt, Vince Carter up front with Charles Oakley and Antonio Davis. Jones continues to mark Carter. Davis problems on the pick and pop. Now goes rolling in, does Williams. Iverson, the swipe, has company. It's McKee. And the offensive foul, Aaron McKee.
And Larry Brown, you know, you have to remind the troops that, hey, we have a 22-point lead on your opponent here in the playoffs. You're in the NBA, they can come back on you and play just as well as we did in the second half if you guys don't maintain a high level of concentration. 76ers a turnover on Toronto in their first possession.
Nicely done. Alvin Williams to Antonio Davis. The Raptors have not won a game where they trailed at halftime. They were down 22 at intermission. Mutombo, who took only a handful of shots in the first half, pulls his way in. His own miss had it rejected on a good play by Oakley. But rescuing the Sixers is McKee. That's Jones missing the three. And it goes over the backboard and out of bounds. It'll go back to Toronto.
You watch the follow through on Jermaine Jones. Rises nicely, shoots the ball at its highest jump. Just does a nice job and a good follow through on it as well.
That jumper he has had to work on ever since entering the league as a rookie last year. Childs goes barging in. Jones absorbing the contact. And a foul on Jermaine.
Childs putting it on the floor, getting the bump. Goes the line to shoot a deuce. Now, the same pretty much holds true for Lenny in this third quarter as well, as the first 5 or 6 minutes are extremely important for both teams. The 76ers like to maintain that lead, and Toronto would like to cut it down to that 12 to 15-point mark, if at all possible, heading into the fourth.
The Sixers leading at halftime of Game 4. Lenny Wilkins' team was stifled by Aaron McKee, who went to work in that third quarter. But Gil Hartman mentioned the latter stages of halftime. McKee banging that already achy right shoulder in the first half. It's Allen Iverson working hard, getting 2 more. He's got 31.
Getting away with dragging that pivot foot about a foot or so. But you know what? When you're the MVP, you get that call.
Oakley cleans up after the Alvin Williams miss. Davis off the Oakley miss. The Raptors, their specialty offensive rebounding. Williams goes wildly into Mutombo, and Dikembe is whistled for his second.
Watch the spin move by Williams, getting tripped up by that right leg of Mutombo.
Alvin Williams, by the way, only 2 points, taking only 2 shots in this game. Davis providing interference for Carter. Look at Mutombo again, as he has been all night active on the perimeter. Carter skies for 2.
I think if you're Lenny Wilkins and everybody that lives in Canada, you'd love to see him take it to the hoop that aggressive as often as possible. That was an aggressive move by Vince.
Iverson gives up the dribble on Childs. Renewed life thanks to Jones. Allen drains another 3. His 5th three-pointer of the game.
Well, in Game 3, Vince hit 8 of them in a row, then ended up for the game with 9.
The 8th straight, an NBA playoff record. He tied another record with 9 total for the game. Iverson tripped up by Alvin Williams in the wide open spaces. And the obvious foul on the Germantown Academy and Villanova product, Philadelphia-born Alvin Williams. And Iverson, the resulting swan dive on the floor. Of course, Allen, with the way he plays, the floor frequently a familiar place to him. Rick Snow has come on for the Sixers. He's in for Jones. Childs now on Iverson. Hill held back, no call. Davis comes up with a miss. And Tyrone glaring back at Bennett Salvatore for the lack of a call. McKee chased down by Williams, who eventually picked his pocket. Alvin was among the leaders in steals during the regular season. This is Oakley. Carter tries to hammer it back, and here come the Sixers again. McKee with ideas of threading it to Hill, but we have another Toronto foul. Personal, Chris Childs. 2 on him, 3 on the team. And Aaron McKee will step to the stripe for the first time tonight. Just a total of 12 free throws in the game thus far. In game 4, Toronto went to the line 24 times, with the Sixers 17. First time this series, Toronto has attempted more free throws.
Oh, Vince Carter got to the line 10 times in game 4. Now in game 1, he got to the line 9 times. In games 2 and 3, he only got to the line a total of 3 times. In game 2, he didn't even get to the line. So I mean, Vince Carter has to be aggressive. He's got to get to the line. He's got to be able to get some free ones. Otherwise, you know, it makes a very long night, not only for him, but the entire team if you don't get to the line.
Sixers 7 for 7 from the line. McKee has 6. Sixers by 23 points. Here you see Mutombo again cruising the perimeter as he has done all night. Very active. Carter, in the midst of a pack of players, gets it tough too. So Vince trying to haul his team back into it. He's got 11. A long ways away are the Toronto Raptors. Sixers scoring the first 11 points of this game. Iverson for 2, and he got it again. He's been the magic man. Allen Iverson with 36. He has hit a ton from the perimeter. Allen has gone to the line but once tonight. Iverson the double helping McKee with Carter, who splits the D, a la Dr. J, who's in the building tonight. Goes in against Mutombo, and Dikembe commits the personal foul, his 3rd.
If you're Lenny Wilkens, you have to challenge Vince Carter to make moves like that. Hey, take it up against the shot blocker. That's what you have to do. And if Toronto loses this game, right now they're down 23 points. If you're Lenny Wilkens, the only thing you can say is, okay, guys, you know what? We lost 1 game in a 7-game series. We got to go home. We've got to win game 6 on Friday night. That's all there is to it. You know, I've been on teams that have been blown out in 1 game and came out and blow the opponent out in the next game. So it's just 1 game. And if you're Larry Brown, you have to remind them that the Sixers go on and win this, that, hey, it's only 1 game. It doesn't mean the series.
Eric Snow rolls in. The first miss by the bench tonight. Hill and Davis in a thicket of players, and Antonio Davis comes up for the rebound as 4th. Davis averaging 12 boards for the playoffs. 5 minutes gone here on the 3rd. Some of the fans looking for a walk on Alvin Williams. Childs with 5 to shoot, ran into Mutombo. Davis, the clean study for 2. His 4th field goal for 8.
If you're Larry Brown and the Sixers, hey, you'll trade buckets all night long. Toronto has yet to stop the 76ers.
Certainly for any consistent amount of time in this game.
Correct.
Iverson again. Yes! That was for 2 and a foul.
Coming right at him, knocks him down. Bam! For the deuce, a chance to complete the 3-point play. Crowd's going MVP 1 more time.
Allen Iverson, with more than 5 times the points of any other Sixer, converts the 3-point play. He's got 39 points. Sixer lead at 23. Childs has a rolling Davis, met at the summit by both Mutombo and Hill. And Tyrone picks up the personal. It's number 2.
Well, Davis got hit on that left arm. Not real happy with Tyrone Hill. As Tyrone's the one that whacked him on that left arm. There's that tricep that's wrapped up. The pick, the pop, take it to the hoop.
And you hold your breath somewhat there with Mutombo challenging Davis. Dikembe already with 3 personal fouls as Davis goes to the line for the first time tonight. Jermaine Jones, who exited early in the third, is back in for the Sixers. And this was predicted with no Matt Geiger and certainly no George Lynch that Jermaine would have to step forth and play some power forward, and he does so now for Tyrone Hill. He sits with 6 and 5 boards. Davis joins 2 other Raptors, Carter and Curry, in double figures. He's got 10. Childs continues to mark Iverson with Alvin Williams on Eric Snow. Now Carter has him on a switch. Double by Williams. Open is Snow. And Jones mistiming his jump. Childs for Toronto. Takes it all the way in, coast to coast. Childs' third field goal for 8. McKee wants Childs, and why not? Holds about 4 inches on him and tracks the double from Carter. 5 to shoot for Iverson. Yes! That was for 3, his 6th of the game, as he continues to add to his Sixer playoff record for 3-pointers in a game. Mutombo off the Williams miss. This is Jones. Yes! Jermaine Jones ties his playoff career high of 9.
I don't want to pull out of the hat yet, but this game is very close to being over.
The Sixers unrelenting and holding down the Raptors. Don't count the field goal by Childs. We have a call here. It looks to be against the Sixers. Dikembe Mutombo. If it is, personal number 4. Instead, it is the illegal defense against Dikembe Mutombo. In the meantime, Toronto fans probably think Allen Iverson should be ruled illegal. He's got 42 of the Sixers' 79. We'll be back. Here are the Raptors out of the timeout. Carter posting McKee. Double duty by Mutombo. Ball goes out of bounds. It'll belong to the Raptors. The illegal defense once again against the 76ers before the break against Mutombo, their first of the night, so they are assessed the warning. Williams, tough shot. He did so with 4 to shoot, and they pin Eric Snow with a personal foul. Just the first on E. Snow. Sixers are in the penalty. Alvin Williams will step to the stripe for the first time tonight.
If you're Lenny Wilkens, you find yourself down 24 with 4:34 here to go in the third. You know, at some point you say, you know what, okay, we're not going to come back. So let's work on a few things for Friday night's game. Let's experiment a little bit, see if we can't find a different way, some different double teams maybe to stop Allen Iverson. Even though he's stroking the ball real well, he might have another one of these nights like this on Friday night. We got to find a way to stop. We'll experiment.
Right now, Williams back on Iverson, who takes him through a thicket of screens. The setup pass stolen by Jerome Williams. Alvin Williams wildly, because he sensed the contact coming, so he just heaved it up. And Snow is whistled for his second, sending Alvin Williams back to the stripe. As mentioned, the Sixers in the penalty with 4:09 to play here in the third quarter. Alvin Williams only 1 for 3 for 3 points tonight, and Steve not inflicting near the damage against the Sixers than he did in that New York series.
Well, you know, you take a look at at Alvin Williams. Here's a guy that averaged a little bit better than 9 points during the regular season. He's averaging 12 points now, so his numbers are up during the playoffs, and he had some outstanding games against the New York Knicks. Overall, Alvin Williams averaging 15 points in the playoffs, 10-12 against the 76ers. They've done a pretty nice job on it.
Aaron McKee drains from distance his third field goal. Aaron's got 8. The Sixers continue to keep the Raptors at arm's length and then some. Carter and McKee in a tussle. Carter finally hauls it in. Only 5 to shoot. The Raptors never hit the rim. So Williams jacks the 3, and Mutombo rises above the crowd for that one. Eric Snow cut off at the pass. Plenty of time for the Sixers. Iverson has Carter. Does he take him? Now McKee has Childs, and Allen obliges. Good look inside Mutombo. What a play by Aaron McKee.
Boy, that's a nice dive by Mutombo. The double team comes. Aaron McKee with the quick eyes, the quick pass, locating Mutombo with a nice little running hook.
76ers with their largest lead of the night.
Yeah, see, I'm not so concerned about Derek Anderson missing the rest of the playoffs. They can plug in a number of guys into that 2 spot. Terry Porter, Steve Kerr, Daniels. You've got a lot of guys that can be plugged in.
It's Carter getting whacked. Face or the mouth area. Foul on Dikembe Mutombo, and it is his 4th. So Tyrone Hill is in to get Mutombo, who exits with a word or 2. Ted Bernhardt. In the meantime, Carter with the Sixers in the penalty gets another. Vince averaging 34.5 in the series. That includes the franchise high 50 points that he dropped in Game 3. Game in which the Sixers were beaten by 24 points. The 2 Sixer wins in this series have each come by 5. Now they lead by 24 under 3 to go here in the 3rd. Alvin Williams is back on Iverson. The double by Childs. AI sees all and hits all. He's got 44. Williams in deep.
That's about the first time they've tried to take advantage of whoever Allen is guarding. And that might be one thing for Larry to keep in mind as you take a look at the next 4, 5, 6 minutes. Alvin Williams trying to post up Allen. Keep him 94 feet on as he's trying to get back.
Kevin Ollie back in for the Sixers 3 to shoot. Just over 2 minutes remaining in the 3rd. Sixers by 24, 85-61. Carter neatly done after the feed by Childs. Carter now with 16 after Childs, his 8th assist. McKee picked up on a switch by Jerome Williams, and now Aaron begins to find his shot. He is 2 assists away from a double-double. He's got 10 and 8 assists. Davis to work on Hill. And Tyrone fouls him. En route to the hoop. Ollie, 3 assists, by the way, in a 7-minute run thus far. Sixers 24 assists, Steve, on 36 made field goals.
That happens when you shoot the ball well.
61% for the Sixers, and we are almost through 3/4 of play. We have a timeout with about 20 to go here in the 3rd. The 76ers not allowing the Raptors to make any kind of a move whatsoever. They lead by 24 points. The action tonight here on Comcast Sports. It has been a nightmarish game for the Toronto Raptors, who would hope to steal this one and go back to their home city leading this best of 7 3-2. The 76ers took them out from the get-go. The 11-0 lead right off the opening tip. The Sixers continue to shoot the lights out, 61%. They lead the Raptors here by 22. Here's Iverson for three, and he did it again! Allen Iverson with 7 3-pointers as he continues to add to that Sixer playoff record for 3-pointers in a game, and he's got 47 points.
That's that new sideline out of bounds play that the 76ers put in today. Worked beautifully. Allen getting the three.
Allen just 2 3-pointers now from tying the all-time NBA mark, which was tied 2 games ago by the Raptors' Vince Carter. Keep in mind also the 54, the franchise playoff career high that Iverson dropped on this floor in Game 2. He is 7 from that. No fewer than 3 Raptors on Iverson. McKee had Snow, now Hill. Jones bursting in for the Sixers, and now with the clocks virtually identical, the Sixers will ring it out and hold for one to the delight of the crowd here at the First Union Center. The double team on AI. Eric Snow, McKee for 3. Yes! 76ers started this game leading 11-0. They took the opening quarter by 21 points. Steve, they've continued to lengthen the lead since then.
Well, the importance of getting off to a great start, as you can see right here, 33-12, and then it's just basically hold and serve from that point on. Time now for our singular wireless call of the game. Eric Snow with the ball out on the top. Allen Iverson, the catch, the shoot. Oh boy, Allen Iverson, 7 threes tonight's ball game so far. What a marvelous job. Allen Iverson overall 19 of 27, 7 for 10 from beyond the arc, 47 points overall. Holy mackerel, what a great job by Allen. And he's getting some nice clean looks as well. His teammates setting him up by setting some nice screens. 76ers brought a few plays out of the mothballs today. They tweaked a few other ones, and all of a sudden everything is clicking.
All told, the 76ers are 9 for 14 from beyond. The action tonight here on Comcast Sportsnet as the Sixers, barring a Toronto miracle, and it would be a miracle at that, with the way that the littlest miracle, Allen Iverson's been playing, and the way that they have held off the Raptors all night long. Sixers will take a 3-2 series lead into Game 6 in Toronto on Friday. Along with Neil Hartman of the Mayor, Steve Mix, Mark Zumoff tonight. Chris Childs trying somehow to deal with Allen Iverson. Childs picking up personal foul number 4. And Childs in many ways being made to eat his words after he said to the assembled press they felt the Raptors, after they split with the Sixers in the opening 4, should have swept them in his first 4 games. And he's been hearing it from the crowd because of those comments for a good part of the night. Snow and Mutombo played catch. McKee was an option. Stepping in was Carter, and he is fouled on the breakout. Personal, Allen Iverson, number 2. Raptors here are running Childs along with Del Curry. Vince Carter is a forward with Jerome Williams. Charles Oakley. Not much tonight in the way of minutes for the 37-year-old Oakley. Just 17 thus far. Averaging 33 for the playoffs as Hill collides with Jerome Williams. for 4 on Tyrone Hill. And the second on the team here in the opening 35 seconds of the final quarter. So the Sixers with that win on Sunday, surprising a lot of folks after they were buried by a lot of people after losing that game 3, and now could take that 3-2 series lead as Allen Iverson hits again. He's got 49 points.
And Vince Carter laying on the floor. He caught an elbow to the head as he was taking the ball to the hoop.
The obvious timeout on the floor as Carter is attended to.
Oh, why not? Everything's going well. The jump shot for AI, and there's Carter being knocked to the floor. I don't know who hit him, but he caught an elbow to the head. It's tough to see in that mass of humanity there. About 6 or 7 players around waiting for that rebound to come off.
Well, consider yourself Toronto now. This game is hopeless in terms of trying to come back and win it. Down now by 28. You're going to give up a 3-2 series lead, and now your superstar is still face down. We'll be back. Vince Carter being helped up after being down on the floor for most of that timeout. Steve, what do you think happened?
Well, when you take a look at the replay, Vince Carter's going up. Now watch Mutombo come over there. Mutombo's going to crack him right across the right jaw. As he goes up, tries to block that, right hand comes down, bam, right across the jaw. And Lenny Wilkins is talking to the official like, hey, where is the personal foul? My man's going to the hoop. Bam, right there, catches that right hand right across the jaw and sends him down. Now we'll see if there's any damage. Hopefully not. But one more look, yeah, he's just going right down like a shot. Mutombo catches him. Now, if you're Toronto, I think you're a little upset that the officials. See, this team, Toronto's a very mild-mannered team. They don't get many technicals, but I think at some point you got to really lay into the officials and say, hey, my guy's getting knocked to the floor. He's not being sent to the line.
And certainly, if you're Toronto, cobwebs notwithstanding, no reason to play Vince Carter anymore in this one.
Nope.
76ers team Dr. Jack McPhillamy heading a medical staff back to the Raptor locker room.
Now, there's absolutely no reason for Vince to play. They find themselves down by 28 points. Now, if you're Toronto, I mean, I want to go right at Mutombo a couple times going right to the hoop. I want to go as strong as I can, wait for him to come over, then I want to try and jam on him, see what'll happen, see if the officials will give me a call or two.
Here are the Raptors now out of the timeout. Eric Montross stepping onto the floor for Toronto. Chris Childs has his way to the hoop. Childs, the 4th Raptor in double figures. He's got 10.
Well, now you're seeing a full court press by Toronto. So Larry Brown jot that down a little bit. Or if you're the coaching staff, okay, mark it down. Trying to do a little full court press.
Trying to go inside to Iverson, who's got 49. Allen trying to sneak around the Eric Montross screen is called for his third. A three-pointer of the night, one away from tying the NBA record.
Well, we've seen some outstanding performances in this series, Mark. Allen with 2, Vince Carter with 1. Wow.
Childs missing the 3. It goes out of bounds, and Toronto will keep it. AI with 52, 2 away from tying his playoff career high of 54. The second player in NBA history with 2 50-plus point performances in the same series. The other, Michael Jordan against Cleveland, who he really bedeviled in his NBA career. This was in April and May of 1988. Here's Iverson again. They rise at the First Union Center for 3. Nope. Mutombo slams for 2.
Give Allen another minute or so and get him out of the ball game. See if he can't break his old record, another couple possessions, and say, you know what? Nice game, young fella. You're the MVP. You proved it tonight. The team's up 3-2.
Here's Iverson again. Behind the back to Mutombo, who is hit and fouled en route to the hoop. The personal Chris Childs, and he is done for the night.
Allen perusing the court, finding Mutombo running down the middle. Three-pointer number 8 for Iverson. He dances down the other end, having a good time here tonight.
Mutombo now to the line for 2. Becoming the first Sixer to go to the line more than 2 times tonight. The Sixers, 62% shooting. And Childs, who was a victim earlier in this series, fouling out in game 1, does so again in part at the hands of one Allen Iverson. Keon Clark checking in for the Raptors. Mutombo now with 10. Neil Hartman with an update on Vince Carter.
Well, Mark, I just left the locker room area. He is being attended to by the 2 team doctors for the Toronto Raptors, Dr. Paul Marks and Dr. Doug Richards. His mom, Vince's mom, is in there as well. And right now, he just has a heck of a headache right now. He has no fractures or nothing broke or anything along those lines. But his head and neck area do hurt. He was very groggy coming off the court. But right now, they just are using some ice, and they say he's okay. He'll be okay, and just a little stunned at this point. Back to you.
All right, Neil, thank you. Up top it goes Jerome Williams, slamming that one for Morris Peterson. And Jerome challenging the angry throng here at the First Union Center. He dares to do so with his team down 104-73. Hill has it blocked. A combination of Clark and Montrose. And that's Morris Peterson, who got off the bench early. With Jermaine Jones getting off early after a mismatch with Chris Childs, who is now gone after fouling out.
And one more thing for Larry Brown to mark down is potentially to see Mo Pete coming off the bench for the Raptors in game 6. Didn't get a whole lot of time in the first 4 ball games.
Iverson continues to miss threes, now looking for a call from the officials. We approach the halfway point of the quarter. Mutombo way out on Alvin Williams. That's Jerome Williams. That's up 2. And he hears it. The fans here at the First Union Center. Again, Iverson with 52. And the 8 3-pointers, which is one away from tying the all-time NBA mark for a playoff game. And again, his playoff career high 54. He's got it now. Alvin Williams on him. Off the double, gives it up. Rodney Buford. Got it! And that was for 3. Rodney Buford joins the hit parade. The 11th 3-pointer for the Sixers.
The Sheriff loads up and empties his gun.
Under 5 to play on the 4th. Sixers have it on Cruz. They took the opening quarter by 21 and haven't let up since. Morris Peterson, good point, Steve. You may hear a lot more from that rookie who has barely seen the light of day in this series, brought in out of necessity because of a matchup problem, and he has stroked it here in this one.
Well, Lenny Wilkins doesn't like to play rookies, especially in the playoffs, but he might have to in game 6.
And that'll do it for Allen Iverson, 52 points. combined with his 54 in Game 2, joining Michael Jordan as the only two in playoff history to get 50 or more twice in the same series. Jordan did it against Cleveland back in late April, early May 1988. And this 21st century marvel has done it here. 52 points, 21 for 32 from the floor, 8 3-pointers, that's smashing the previous 76er mark for 3-pointers made in a playoff game. And he also had 7 assists. Will marvels with Allen Iverson ever cease?
Well, Toronto hopes so in Game 6 on Friday night. I know that. That place will be rocking up there at the ACC.
Kembe Mutombo, you might have noticed Vince Carter sans his uniform top. Back on the bench, he absorbed a hit from Mutombo with about a minute gone here in this quarter. The Sixers, by the way, just as an asterisk, shooting 12 for 12 from the line tonight. And how about the Sixers averaging 91 points per game in this playoff series, posting 111. Under 4 to play here in the fourth. That's what 60% shooting will do for you.
Absolutely.
60% shooting. Tumbo vies with Montross. Nicely done by Dikembe. The NBA record, by the way, for field goal percentage in a game, 67% by the Boston Celtics against New York back in April of 1990. Keon Clark encounters Mutombo. Hill bats it to Allen. McKee delivers with the left hand. So Aaron McKee, who's shooting only 2 for 7 for 4 at the break, suddenly with 19 and 9 assists for the Sixers tonight. 32 assists on 46 made field goals. It is a bulging stat sheet, one that you will love to peruse with a cup of coffee tomorrow morning. Alvin Williams being shoved by Rodney Cusick. We have a timeout with 2 minutes and 45 seconds to go in this one.
And if you're Lenny Wilkins, you stay as positive as you can. Get with the troops after the ball game tomorrow at practice, once again on Friday at the shoot around, and say, you know what? There's only one game. It's no big deal. We've got a home game on Friday. And if you're Larry Brown, you know what, guys? You say, hey, we can wrap this thing up Friday night. You have to stay focused. One of the keys to win Friday night's game is staying focused at the task at hand, and that is winning this series going on to the next round. You got to be able to raise your level of play up with each round. The 76ers certainly have done that in the last couple of ball games.
Steve, I'll go back to your comments at Air Canada Center. The tail end of Game 3 with the Sixers down by as many as 26 points. They eventually lost by 24. And you saying, hey, all Larry Brown has to do is tell the troops, guys, you're only down 2 games to 1. A brand new game, Game 4 on Sunday. You can tie up the series and head back to Philadelphia with a home court advantage. And darn it, if they didn't do just that.
And darn it, how about that? I'm a prophet.
2 minutes left.
Under 2 to go here in the fourth quarter. The Sixers put Toronto to bed early. They ripped off 11 straight in the first 4 and change. They took the opening quarter by 21. And another key in this one is Jerome Williams gets the slam for 2. It was Jermaine Jones who showed no jitters and in fact had 5 of those first 11 points, including a 3-pointer in his first ever start in his NBA career, which, although in relative infancy, is still a landmark for him. Happy to get his first ever start here in a playoff game as Montross corrals Allen. Yes, Mark and Steve, brought to you by Canon Business Solution. You can email us anytime. And Mark from Southampton New Jersey. Asking what is the NBA record for points in a playoff game, all brought to mind with the fact that Allen had 52 tonight and the 54 that he dropped here in Game 2, and the answer coming up in just a moment. In the meantime, Dodge presents 76ers post-game live. Michael Barkan joined by the coach Jim Lynam and Gerald Anderson live right here at the First Union Center. That record, Michael Jordan, 63, which he posted against the Boston Celtics back on April 20 of 1986. And a neat little factoid emerging from that game. Keep in mind the 54 that Iverson had here in Game 2. Jordan got the 63 in a double overtime game. He had 54 in that game at the end of regulation.
So it doesn't count?
Oh, it counts.
Okay, I was just checking.
Those who remain rise here at the First Union Center.
Got to get Raja Bell on the old scoreboard here one time.
Buford from a tough angle. McCullough cleaning up. Todd gets his third field goal. So the Sixers will win this one